Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Veach season. We are your guest hosts, Rocky Magaña and Kramer Sansone, coming to you again after another Chiefs victory down in the dirty South. The Chiefs played a dirty game. Like that game was so dirty and so sloppy and so crunk that like it was like watching Hustle and Flow with like Wiz Khalifa. Like that's how like I feel. Not even that. It was like watching Hustle and Flow with 2 Chainz while sitting in an out back behind a barbecue restaurant next to a dumpster on top of a 5-gallon bucket, and just seeing the movie projected on the back of the building in the middle of July in like a hot, sticky summer night. That's how I felt watching that game last night, Cream Dog.
I'm glad I didn't feel that way, but you know what, Rocky, I'm glad you got through it because you're here and we're able to do this. Beach season.
Beach season, baby. And obviously, once again, I don't even know what Brett Veach's excuse is this week for why he's not here. He's signing Kareem Hunt. He's coming off a victory. I mean, honestly, let's be real. Brett Veach was unable to come in and host his podcast tonight because the Chiefs won a football game in Atlanta where like the most ratchet ass strip clubs are on the face of the planet.
Oh, yes.
And Brett Veach spent all late Sunday night making it clap, watching the watching the honey pots twerk and tossing Benjamins up on the stage and in the dirty South. And
what's so
he was unable to come in to work today.
What's that one strip club called?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of
strip clubs
that one strip club.
The one that like everybody goes for the wings. It's like a famous one in Atlanta.
I don't. Hey, Vichi's out there. We need you in the comments. Leave a 5-star review and tell us the best strip club wings in Atlanta. We need to know
because
James needs to know where to take his mom when they're in town.
Yeah, you're right. I gotta take my mom there.
Kramer needs to know where once we inevitably get canceled, where he's going to go be a bouncer at.
You're right. That'd be a good one. That'd be a good spot for me.
My brother is a chef, and when he lives in San Francisco, and when he first moved there, his very first job, I called him on the phone. He's like, "Yeah, I got a job as a chef." And I was like, "Where at?" And it was like literally the place was called something like the Lady Rockets, like Boom Boom Lounge, like something that's like very like you're like that's a strip club, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, I was like, is it a restaurant? Because it sounds like it might be a titty bar. And he goes, well, it's both. And I was like,
nice.
You're cooking food in a strip club and serving it to people. He's like, well, technically we cook the food in another building, and then the food runners run it across the alley into the strip club. And I was like, you're cooking like, he's like, we specialize in steaks. I was like, you're cooking steaks, running it through a back alley in San Francisco.
That is
where nuts. God knows what is in the air, and then through a dirty ass back door at a strip club, and then serving this to other human beings. And that's what you went to culinary school for. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, oh my God.
Sounds like the American dream.
I mean, listen, it's hard out there for a pimp, you know, and like they say in Hustle and Flow. You've seen Hustle and Flow, right?
I actually haven't.
You've not seen the movie Hustle and Flow? Well, the movie is legitimately about a pimp who wants to be a music producer, and he makes one of his girls do backup vocals on his tracks, and he tries to make an independent record and make it as a rapper.
Oh.
And it's the reason why 3 6 Mafia are Academy Award winners.
Oh, interesting. All righty then.
You know, whenever you think of Academy Award winners, you think
I don't think 3 6 Mafia.
You think Martin Scorsese, Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg, Marlon Brando, Orson Welles, and 3 6 Mafia.
3 6 Mafia.
I mean, it just rolls right off the tongue. Like I just think about the pinnacle of art, and I think 3-6 Mafia is the pinnacle of art.
Yeah, it's going down tonight.
Yeah, it's going down tonight. Um, but yeah, so Brett Veach couldn't be here today, guys. Sorry,
Sorry.
he's hungover and still covered in glitter from a girl named Mercedes and probably another girl named Portia. But whenever he missed the flight this morning, I'm sure, right? And so he's probably on Spirit Airlines with like a 12-hour layover in Toledo, trying to make his way back to Kansas City right now. And so he was unable to be here on the show today. So you're stuck with these two SOPs once again. 1,000 apologies. Maybe someday we'll actually put together a product that's worth listening to. But until then, just keep coming back and seeing if today is the day.
That's true. Good point.
Listen, you can't suck all the time. You got to be good eventually.
Yeah, we can only go up from where we're at right now. So
it's like, what's it like Simon Sinek says, right? Like 10,000 hours of anything to become an expert, right? We got to be getting close to our 10,000 hours of podcasting in order to become experts, Krame.
I feel like we're already on episode 10,302. So,
and every episode is at least 176 minutes.
It's true. So I think we surpassed it. We're just doing us now at this point.
So at this point, I mean, we're basically the greats, the greats of the game.
We're better than Joe Rogan.
I mean, yeah. F Joe Rogan. He isn't like what he like. Okay. Joe Rogan has
we don't need to go down on a rant and go on Joe Rogan.
Nah, Joe Rogan has like what's his name? Was it Robert Kennedy, the one that had like brain worms or whatever? Right? Joe Rogan's a conspiracy theorist with swollen fingers. His fingers look like little bratwurst sausages from all the steroids he's like injected straight into his neck. Oh my God, Joe Rogan.
The conspiracy parts I do like diving into, but
what's your favorite conspiracy theory, Krame?
Ooh, anything around Area 51.
What do you think is there? Are they extraterrestrials or are they interdimensional creatures?
However you want to word them, I don't care. I just know they're alien to me.
It's fair. Do they look humanoid or are they like, you think they're like,
I bet they're grays. I bet they're grays.
Oh, you believe in grays, huh? You're a grays guy?
Yeah, it only makes sense because I don't know. I'm not going to go. It makes sense for it to happen because it's just your evolution.
Oh, baby, dive in. That's what this podcast is all about.
Because evolution is down time.
This is a football podcast?
You're right. No,
this is a conspiracy theorist alien podcast now.
So, like, thousands and thousands of years from now, we're all going to look like one color. So it makes sense for that alien to come back and pretty much warn us or whatever it is. And now it's just we're either taking our technology or whatever it is, but I don't know.
So you think
that's a more evolved
that grays are humans evolved like
years and years,
100,000 years in the future, a million
from
years
what we're going to look like, yeah.
So you think that we're on our way to evolving into grays? So
yeah.
we're like
do I believe it? No.
To the grays,
right?
But you don't believe it.
I mean, it's just fun. I just like going into it just to try to see if I think it is.
Gun to your head, somebody says there's grays at Area 51, Kramer. Yes or no?
I'll say yes. Yeah.
All right, there you go. Just say it with your chest. If you believe in aliens, just say you believe in aliens.
It just sounds crazy when someone says that you believe in aliens. I mean, where if you think about it, we are like in the galaxy. We're like a tiny piece of sand on the beach.
We're less than a tiny piece of sand.
There's so much out there.
We're like a tiny piece of sand on one beach carried in by one wave that's happening at the very last moment on the very furthest reaches of the very furthest beach, right? Like it's like throughout history. Yeah. Like we are like literally in the last half second of the last day of the calendar year of the universe, right? And so, yeah, I mean, the universe is so big, there has to be aliens. If there's not aliens, then it's just a gigantic waste of space. And what is nature doing?
So right? So in college, I took a paranormal journalism class, and I specifically tried to research, do as much as I could around Men in Black. I mean, not just the movie itself. Like, there's a thing behind Men in Black where all these pale-faced, hairless people come up, knock on your door, basically be Men in Black. like how the movies were. I tried to research to hopefully they would show up on my doorstep, because if you keep researching, do all this, they'll come knock on your door at any time at night or during the day. And I was like, I'm going to try this. And that stupid Kramer tried doing that up in Maryville, Missouri. Nothing happened or anything, but I learned a lot through the Men in Black, not movies, but looking at it itself. And my goodness, if you don't know the Men in Black, look into it. It's wild. After UFO sightings, they show up.
That is interesting, and I mean, it makes sense that there would be somebody who shows up to handle those sort of things.
Because, like, say if you saw the UFO in the distance, they'll show up and be like, "You didn't see that. That's not what you saw."
You also, if you did see it or they did show up, Kramer, you wouldn't remember because they do that little flashy thing in front of your face.
Exactly.
And you would just be like, "Oh, I went and worked at a country music station today." You've actually never been to a country music station in your life, Kramer. You actually just keep on seeing aliens, and the Men in Black just keep showing up and just strobing your ass every single day, making you think that you're going in to listen to Luke Bryan on repeat 24/7, which is, I imagine, what country music stations are these days. They're just Luke Bryan.
Definitely. Repeat. I mean, Luke Bryan's still Luke Bryan, but there's a lot more to it than that.
All right, well, see, that tells you how much I know about country music these days, Kramer. I'm not a passionate aficionado of the culture like you are.
Me either, dude.
I mean, listen, if the Confederate soldier photograph fits, then who are you to say? I mean, like, you sit here tell us you don't like country music, but you just went on a 20-minute rant about why grays are real and Men in Black.
Oh, so like,
how can we believe and trust a single thing that you say?
There's this thing called Kid Cudi in my life.
Yeah. I have a conspiracy theory for you to try on for size.
Yeah,
and it's around aliens. But it's also would be it's a thought experiment more than anything than an actual belief of like a what if, but to explain why we don't ever see aliens. If we didn't actually say for instance, we see alien spaceships in the sky, right? But in this scenario, we're going to say, okay, but why don't we ever see aliens on the ground, or why aren't we ever visited by aliens? Why isn't this ever confirmed? And everybody says, oh, well, it's Area 51, it's yada yada yada. But what if all that's what if that's all bullshit and there's no aliens here on planet Earth? But there are aliens in space, we think, in this scenario.
Yeah.
Here's what I think. When you look at human history, for a really long time, there were all sorts of Homo species, right? But there was no Homo sapiens, right? There was Neanderthals, there was Homo erectus, there was all these other ones, right? But Homo sapiens doesn't come on the scene until what? It's like 100,000 years ago. I'm not a scientist or a paleontologist, so don't quote me on it. But for a long time, there's a whole lot of other Homo species. Suddenly, Homo sapiens show up. They split off, or they arrive. They evolve, whatever people want to say. And then they start interbreeding with Neanderthals and the other Homo species to the point where now every human being has about 10% Neanderthal in their body to this day. And every Homo sapien does. What if Homo sapiens didn't evolve? And this would explain pyramids. This would explain the hieroglyphics. This would explain all the ancient alien philosophies and everything. What if we are a prison planet for a Homo sapien alien species, similar to what Australia used to be, right? Like the English shipped all their criminals to Australia and just left them there. And then the Australians ended up building a society and a civilization there, right? What if our ancestors were just the worst assholes
and they left us?
And they took all their worst criminals and they said, listen, we don't want them anywhere near our planet. And so they took us all, put us on a ship, tossed us out into space, dropped us off on planet Earth, and then just left us there, which is why suddenly Homo sapiens show up. We can make tools, we can farm, we can build buildings. We have some technology, but we're not going to be able to build a spaceship because you drop me and you off in the wilderness. I'm not going to be able to make a laptop, but I can make a shelter. Yeah. Right. You know what I mean? Like, and I can use mathematics. I can do all these other things, but I can't build a cell phone to call for help.
Do you watch Rick and Morty?
Yeah, I do watch
Oh
Rick and
no,
Morty.
love Rick and Morty.
I love Rick and Morty. But so what I'm saying though is that would explain why aliens have never come back or are never on the planet because they don't want to be on the planet. They
True.
left us here and they to die.
That sounds
And,
believable,
and
actually.
maybe they're seen in the sky because they're like, okay, we got to watch these guys and make sure they don't get too advanced because we don't want these a-holes coming back off the planet and coming back and like us
Dude.
having to run into them or anything like that because we sent them there to be sequestered. And then it would also explain why throughout history, every time one human civilization comes into contact with another human civilization, what's the first thing that happens?
There's violence. People get
Yeah,
killed.
they just start killing each other. They start murdering each other. They start doing all sorts of. It's like we are ingrained probably to be because we're a prison colony, right? And so obviously, I'm not saying I believe this. I'm saying as a thought experiment to rationalize why we have contact from aliens because they don't want to contact us because we're a prison colony.
I honestly, that's sounds more believable than what we're probably going to get to later on. But my goodness, that's I think
this is the type of
I think you kind of
cutting
somewhat
edge
believe
analysis. Yeah.
Veach season, baby. You can only get it here.
Veach season. Wow, what a great opening that was. It's 16 minutes long of conspiracy theorists about aliens and grays. And when we're talking about grays here, we're talking about the aliens, not anatomy, even though I do love Meredith Grey. Love me some Grey's Anatomy.
Never seen
as
it.
well. Oh, here's the deal. Like any show, like the first like 6 seasons are always better than like the last 8. You know what I mean?
That's
right?
fair.
Like whenever they go for 14 seasons, by the time it shows that it's 14th season, you're like, well, like the original cast is there's like none of the original characters are still on the show anymore. And like it's not even like the guys who followed up the original characters. They're like on like their 4th iteration of cast members now. And you're like, well, I guess there's saving lives in a hospital. But how many shows how many shows does that happen in? Like there's so many hospital shows. Do you like hospital shows?
No, I don't get into that. If when I first started seeing Caitlin, we watched this, like, it was not Cops, but it was like an ambulance one version of it. But it was like real world stuff, not like a soapbox or a soap opera. I'm not sure what Grey's Anatomy is. I just know it's the
it's
that
a soap
style.
opera, I would say. Yeah.
But I watched the real world type of version of that.
I would agree with you. Like, listen, I don't watch
TV
shows at all, but my wife is like, hey, let's put this on, and I'm there. And if it's on the television, I'm gonna watch it.
Right.
And then after 3 seasons, I'm gonna be like, oh shit, no, she did not. I can't believe, like, I don't even like the show, but I'm so emotionally invested in it. Like, it's like I hate the show, but I need to know what's gonna happen.
I feel that way towards when she puts on Desperate Housewives, when she's seen it for like the 13th time.
Exactly.
And it's like
exact same kind of thing. Like at some point you're like, oh, she's gonna steal that man's husband, and then you're like, why do I care about this? I don't care about this. There's so many other things I could be doing with my life, but I want to spend time with this woman, and this is what she cares about. So I guess just this is me now. I care about Desperate Housewives and Grey's Anatomy.
Oh man.
Well, what's hot with Krame Dog?
Honestly, it's not what's hot with Krame Dog right now. That's what's cold with Krame Dog. So my teams, my sports teams won. Let's get the clear the room. Las Vegas Raiders yesterday. Thank God I was driving home from St. Louis because I was not able to watch any football yesterday. And thankfully I was able not to watch that game because it was just it sounded like it was just a shit show from start to finish. I was getting updates from my mother, and I had to tell her, let's stop. We can stop those now. That's one. That's the first thing on what's hot with Krame Dog. Secondly, St. Louis Cardinals, my baseball team, got eliminated for the playoffs, and it was great to go see them this past weekend. So it was good to see 2 wins, even though those wins really don't matter right now. And third, the Kansas City Royals are on a 7-game losing streak. Like, what's going on? Everything right now that I'm trying to be happy about, can't be happy about. And heck, there's a quarterback problem up in Michigan. It's not good being Kramer right now.
But are you a happy person nonetheless?
Oh, of course.
Well, then what that tells me that you're indomitable and you're unsinkable. You're the unsinkable Kramer Sansone.
It's true.
And I'm proud of you for being so resilient.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Rocky.
It
means a lot
golden.
coming from you, dude.
I cherish you. But here's the real question.
Okay.
Is Gardner going to be your quarterback next week, or are you getting chubby face trash stash getting the start?
You know what? I will shave my face fully if he gets the start, and I just wear the stash as what Aiden O'Connell does.
You got to get the same haircut. You got to get the full Aiden O'Connell.
Is Gardner the guy that has business decision for himself, or who's AP talking about there? It's definitely not Max Crosby or Devontae Adams, but I couldn't watch the game. You probably didn't watch the game either, but I'm curious to who the person he was trying to call out there. We're going to find out soon because he said we're going to be a business decision on that person.
Well, he also said today he was asked if Aiden O'Connell was going to get the start this week over Gardner Minshew, and he said, I need to talk to the players first. Like, okay, like you're going to talk to the players first about who they want to be their quarterback?
That's not a bad idea.
It's a horrible idea.
But here's the thing. They already know. I assume everybody in that clubhouse knows those two guys aren't the quarterback for the future. They're definitely getting a quarterback this upcoming draft. It is apparent that the Las Vegas Raiders have a quarterback problem. They've had a quarterback problem since Derek Carr got traded or left, or they released him, whatever they did to Derek Carr. They've had a problem since then.
If only they've ever been in a position to draft a quarterback.
This upcoming one, they're going to have a good spot.
Well, too bad you won't be a Raiders fan then.
Hopefully it's I don't know. I don't know, man.
But to answer your question, no, I did not watch the Raiders because I would rather literally pour Ebola into my eyeballs than watch the Raiders. And speaking of Ebola in your eyeballs, me and my family drove down to Gainesville for my wife's friend's little girl's birthday party yesterday before the game. And we get like 15 minutes away from our destination, right? We're driving like 2 hours to get there with like a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. We get 15 minutes away. Everything's going smooth. And then the 3-year-old goes, Dada, I have to go poop.
Oh, no.
I was like, can you hold it? He's like, no. I'm like, but we are like 15 minutes outside of a town that's outside of Gainesville, right? So the options are very limited. And so we're like driving. I see like, there's like a feed co-op. There's like a trailer, like a random person's trailer. There's the side of the road. That looks kind of appealing. And then we see like a bait and tackle gas station.
Nice.
Right. And so you can imagine what a bait and tackle gas station bathroom.
I can only imagine.
Like. It's exactly as you would imagine it, right? So I take my son in there to use the bathroom, and he's like sitting on the toilet doing his business, and he's sitting there and he's like holding himself up, right? Brace himself on the seat a little bit, and he just goes, "Oh, I'm so tired," and just takes his hand and just rubs his eyes like that, like right.
No.
I'm like, don't touch your eyes. He's like, why? I'm like, because your hands are on the seat. He's like, but look, there's nothing on my hands. I was like, it's germs. He's like, what germs? Like, what are germs? I'm there trying to explain what germs and pink eye are to my 3-year-old in the middle of this like roadside trashy gas station, 15 minutes outside of a town outside of Gainesville, Florida. And he just keeps on like he's like, I don't understand. He's like, oh wait, my eye itch. He's like touches his other eye, and I'm like, stop touching your eyes. And so I was like, put your hands up. Put your hands up. I'll hold you onto the I'll hold you. And then I was holding him on the toilet. And then I made him like wash his hands like 7,000 times. And
yeah,
like,
it's gross.
Should I just pour bleach right in his eyes? I was like, I love my kid and I don't want to hurt him, but like how's
he doing today?
What's the protocol? Oh, he's doing great today though. That's the thing. He think it's like a 48-hour incubation time, right? For pink eye.
I've never had it, so I don't know.
No, I think it's like 48 hours. So we'll probably find out by tomorrow if he has bait and tackle shop bathroom pink eye or not.
I hope so, dude. That would absolutely blow.
Yeah, knock on wood that I don't have to replace my child's eyes with glass eyeballs because he goes blind from just a flesh-eating bacteria in his pupils. Yeah, so that's how I spent my day before the Chiefs game yesterday. Anyway, so that's what's hot with Crave Dog.
Sure is.
All right. Well, you know what time it is, Chiefs fans. It's time to call the Madden hotline every single week until Carson Steele is over an 80 rating. Because guess what? I checked today, still a 67 on their website.
Ooh.
And here's the thing. PFF has him ranked as the number 1 running back in the NFL at rushing success rate for all running backs who have over 25 carries. So the most successful running back in the NFL in 2024 is a 67 overall. I think that's our arguing point today.
Yes.
So here we go. Let's just go ahead and call old Ocho Cinco and give him a piece of our mind.
Hey, it's Ocho. You reached the Madden Ratings Adjuster hotline. Leave a detailed message telling us who you think should have a higher rating and why. But you better bring us some facts we haven't already considered. Otherwise, don't even bother.
Your message will be recorded. By leaving a message, you grant EA permission to use your message throughout the world, in perpetuity, on its social media platforms and websites, and represent that you are at least 18 years old. You further agree that we may call you back regarding your message.
Listen here, Ocho. It's your boys over here at Veach season again, Rocky and Kramer. And yeah, we're calling you back about Carson Steele and his 67 overall rating. But first of all, I just wanted to say you might be a Cincinnati Ocho, but you're a New York Cinco. And how in the hell could he possibly only be a 67 overall? PFF has him rated as leading the NFL in rushing success rate and all running backs with 25 carries or more. How do you have the most successful running back in the NFL in 2024 per carry rated at 67 overall? How you can have like a competitive balance with Isaiah Pacheco being injured and people trying to play like realistic matchups and simulations for the actual season when the lead back for the Kansas City Chiefs is a 67 overall? If you watch the game yesterday, he's clearly not a 67 overall, and his strength is still only an 80 overall. Like, it's a joke. The entire game is broken, and the rating system is completely compromised because of this lapse and oversight on your part. Do better at your jobs. We will not stop. The people demand an answer. Thank you. There we go.
Good job. Good job. It needed to be done. It needed to be done.
It needed to be done. Like, listen, we're the voice of the people, and we can't just sit here and just let big sports, win.
Big EA,
yeah, big EA win. Over here, we're the voice of the little guy over here, of the independent sports gamer, and so I'm not going to sit here and just let big EA Sports just run roughshod over everybody and just try to how dare you tell Carson Steele he's only a 67. That man knows who he is. That man knows who he is and what he is.
Yo, it's pretty sweet
starting running back.
Pretty sweet seeing Crocky J on TV.
Holy crap, that was awesome. Like,
yeah.
Can you imagine just like letting Crocky J hang out on the couch and you just have like a little bit of tape around his mouth, which is also crazy with like alligators, is that like they have crazy clinch strength, but they don't have strong open strength, which is why you can like hold their mouth shut with like one hand, and you can like just put like a piece of tape around their mouth and they can't open it.
Which is wild to think.
It's insane, right? And so, man, it's such a cool pet to have a member of the family. I want to try to talk to my wife and be like, listen, if we get rid of the cat and the dog and the kids, let me have an alligator, because I'm pretty sure she won't let me have an alligator in the same house as a 1-year-old.
Probably not.
Especially if I try to just let it roam free around the house and hang out on the couch.
I mean, there are some gators that do that, but few and far between, buddy.
I mean, if I wanted to find a gator, though, I live in the right area. Like, there's
literally the backyard.
There's literally the gator at the end of my street in the pond.
I'm not shocked.
I see it. I mean, like, I almost stepped on that one day. So, yeah. So if I wanted a pet gator to have inside, could get one. I just don't know if my wife would definitely divorce me if I tried to bring a gator inside the house as a pet. I think that'd be a deal breaker for her. What about your fiance? Would she let you have a pet gator inside the house?
No, I don't think. No, we've got 3 cats. That wouldn't be fair to the cats. That'd just be feeding for the gator.
What's the wildest animal you think she would let you have as a pet?
A koala.
That'd be cool though,
That'd be
right?
sick.
Yeah, that'd be dope if you had a pet koala.
That'd be so sick, actually.
Your sister just hangs out like I imagine. Not saying that you do this, but if you did,
okay, what's going on here?
I imagine you just hanging out on the couch, smoking a spliff, watching, I don't know, some football, playing some Madden with a koala. Just obviously you're not going to give your koala
any of
marijuana,
the stuff right?
But like you'll be smoking a spliff, half droopy-eyed, playing Madden, and he's going to be half droopy-eyed because he's just a damn koala, just munching on some bamboo shoots, and you guys are just completely vegging on the couch together.
Yeah, no, that sounds like my kind of Saturday.
I know, right? Sounds like a dream come true. Like your new best friend is a koala bear that just wants to veg out and chill with you while you play video games.
Yeah, shoot, he'd be propped up right here doing the podcast with us.
Oh man, he could become our new, like our third member, like our official Veach season mascot.
How much is?
Can you own a koala? Is it legal to own a koala in Kansas City? Let's find out.
I'm looking up right now.
This is really great content for you guys. Oh, it's not legal to own a koala in the United States.
Well, I mean, they don't have to find out.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we would only just have it on YouTube every single week.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. We'd get shut. We would get canceled again. At least I would.
Okay, wait. Here's what we got. Here's the exceptions. Only a few people are permitted to have koalas, including zookeepers. Koalas can be found at some zoos, such as Zoo Tampa at Lowry Park, which is down the street from me. So if we started a zoo at your house and got it registered as a zoo, you could then have a koala.
So that's the loophole.
Or scientists with special permits may have koalas in their possession. So what if you? I'm not telling you.
Why do scientists need koalas?
Well, here's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you're going to do tests on koalas. We don't believe in doing testing on animal of like we're not injecting them with like Bane juice to try to make like a super human koala that's going to be
sick, actually,
super yoked and just beating the shit out of people in Westport.
Gym with me. That's awesome.
Yeah. What I'm saying though is what you could do is you could do like cognitive intellectual tests on a koala to see like what their problem solving abilities and stuff are. So you like put like blocks in front of a koala and see if they can like rearrange them in like the right order, or if they can
little
like,
kids game with the square, and you can't go in the circle spot with it. You got to put in the square shoot.
Exactly, like that kind of thing. And then he gets like a bamboo shoot every time he does it right. And you just got to do that enough. It's like I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry. Like you don't actually have to be a scientist. You just have to do it enough to convince like feds when they come to check out that you're a scientist and you guys are doing research together. And then I'm doing air quotes for everybody who's not watching this on YouTube. You should be watching these air quotes on YouTube. They're the world's greatest.
Make sure you subscribe.
I'm great at doing air quotes. I'm the world's greatest air quoter. And so you just gotta like, I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry only instead of having koala as your gay lover. You just need to.
Oh my goodness.
Because that's the premise of the movie, right? I know pronounce you Chuck and Larry.
Yeah.
So instead of like trying to marry a male koala, you're just trying to convince the government that you're doing like non-harmful research with this koala as your research partner. Yeah. Plutonic research partner, Kramer. Or the other people who can have it are carers, people caring for sick, injured, or orphan koalas.
Oh, I'll do that.
Have them with a special permit. Carers must return the animals to the wild when they are well enough to care for themselves. So see, that's the hitch. We don't want to get rid of the koala ever. So unless you're going to be like Eminem's mom and give the koala Munchausen syndrome by proxy, you're going to have to like get it away eventually, and then we're going to lose our
No, you just train him to come back or train him to never
our
leave.
guy. Oh. Yeah, you'll just leave the door open and it'll be like his choice, but you'll be like, bro, I got a trash can full of bamboo shoots over here and a couch that you can sit on and watch Netflix with. You can just hang out.
There's no Netflix out there in that canopy.
There's no Netflix out there in the wilds of Missouri, right? It gets cold out there. There's no bamboo that grows really.
I don't think you nurse the koala and just let him go in the United States. I think you have to put him back to where they originally belong.
Okay, so then you would have to say, okay, I'm waiting on my GoFundMe to come through to raise the funds to return it back to the wild, and then you just do like the worst GoFundMe page, and you try really hard and not trying at all to raise the money, and then you say, oh man, as soon as somebody donates the money, I'll fly this koala back over to Australia and release it back into the wild, and then you don't ever want to get rid of the koala. But if somebody's going to make you get rid of the koala, you're at least going to get a damn free trip to Australia out of it.
True.
I think that might be the loophole.
I think we need to go to Australia. Then we'll just smuggle one back.
Oh, so we're gonna go to Australia. What, like hurt? We don't want to hurt a koala.
No. We're just going to take one.
Okay, like we're not going to Tanya Harding a koala.
No,
just
we're
so
going
to bring
to
it back and nurse him back to health, Kramer. You're a monster. Why would you ever success?
We're going to buy it off the market. There's probably a place where people eat koala. Let's buy the one that they're trying to kill and eat. We'll take that one. Take it back home with us.
On the dark web, like trying to buy a koala off like koalameats.com.
Koala meet us.
Like primo ground up fresh koala.com, and the feds are gonna be like, why were you guys trying to buy a koala to eat it? We're like, no.
Trying to
buy a koala to save it from the dark web. They're like, well, what about the other things? You're like, don't talk. I don't want to talk about what else I did.
What else are we looking on the dark web?
Yeah, no, we're not looking at anything else. But I mean, if you were on the dark web, like I've never been on the dark web in my life.
Don't want to. I'm good.
Don't want to, because I know if I went on there and if I was just going on there to try to find a koala to save it, right, from being like ground up into meat and eaten, it's like once you're in there, though, you're like, am I really not going to open this door and see what's behind door number 1? And then door number 2, and then door number 3, 4, 5, and every other door after it. Like at that point, it's like curiosity kills the cat, or curiosity gets the cat, arrested and sent to jail for the rest of their lives, because all of a sudden they're trying to buy, things they shouldn't buy on the dark web, like koalas.
I don't like to get a koala.
Me too. If anybody's listening to this, if the feds are listening to this, if we're ever on the dark web, we're only there to buy a koala.
To save it.
Not to eat it, but to save it. All right.
I think we hit it home.
Perfect. Well, there we go, guys. This has been a great episode of each season.
Imagine if that was just
I just rap right now at this point, and that's it. No, not even a mention of the Chiefs once on this entire damn podcast.
We mentioned the Chiefs. We talked about Crocky J. That's how we got here.
Oh, that's true. Have you ever eaten an alligator before?
I have had gator.
Like I know a place here in Tampa that has really good gator like bratwurst.
Ooh.
Yeah, you can get a gator grinder.
Nice.
And I'm talking about the sandwich, not the mobile app. Because Gator Grinder, the mobile app, is a much different thing than eating a gator sauce. Well, I mean,
it sounds the same if you think about it.
There's similarities. Oh, there's not another cheese podcast in the world that has this kind of content. I can guarantee it. Oh, I hope we don't get canceled today, Kramer, because I'm having too much effing fun with you, bro. I just love you too much. I don't ever want this to end. Even if we get canceled, we're just gonna call each other and keep doing this.
Oh man! All right, let's do some Chief stuff.
All right, it's that time of the week for Pop Kingdom, everybody. Whatever we talk about now is not going to be as good as everything we've already talked about. But something that is awesome is Halle Berry's new movie premiered this week. Never Let Go, starring Halle Berry. Okay, let's get into some Chiefs content. Halle Berry's new movie just came out. Okay, compose yourself. The
Oh,
people
man.
deserve professionalism.
Oh man, I
Thomas
try to.
Kramer.
Oh.
Ugh, I am literally losing my mind.
I'm crying, dude.
All right, Halle Berry's new movie came out. Never Let Go. It's a horror movie. She's brilliant in it as always, and it's got a 64% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. It's supposed to have a pretty strong twist at the end.
Apparently.
Apparently, and that's your Chiefs
I'm
news
crying,
for the week.
man.
That's your Chiefs news for the week, Kramer. Glad we really dug into it.
I'm good.
I
I think.
All right.
Oh.
Other news, Pop Kingdom this week. There's Sports Illustrated ran a story this week. Sports Illustrated's really gone downhill. I'm just gonna say it.
Well, ever since they did the AI stupid, like where they thought, like where they said that oh no, we're not doing anything artificial intelligence with their articles when they were. It's like, come on, dudes.
It's horrible. And they had an article this week saying Travis Kelce looked bummed on the sidelines essentially because and it happened to be the game that Taylor Swift wasn't at against the Falcons because she wasn't at the game. She was in New York having dinner with Gigi Hadid because, God forbid she ever have a life outside of her significant other.
Right.
Like, God forbid you ever do anything without your significant other and then you only do things together for the rest of your life. But yeah. If anything, I imagine it was probably Travis Kelce looking, but like if you see the picture, like he looks like he's more spacey, I think, than bummed. Like I think that he's just like zoned out on the sideline, probably thinking about the fact that they're double teaming him and he wasn't able to get more targets than he wanted in the game. But I don't think that he's like sad and just moping and crying on the sideline of a football game because Taylor's not there.
I'm curious. Like, did the team arrive like Sunday morning, or did they come the previous day?
They went the previous day.
So, all right, I remember where that place in Atlanta, Magic City. That's that strip club.
Oh yeah, that's where Veach was last night, making it clap.
Yeah, that's exactly what he was doing. Everybody on the Chiefs, some guys on the Chiefs did look spacey, not just Travis Kelce. Mahomes kind of look a little spacey. You think everybody, even Veach, you think they were all over there making it clap at Magic City?
I mean, possibly. In Mahomes' defense, he has 2 kids about the same age as mine, and he has a third one.
They're not with them on a work trip.
That's true. Yeah.
Think about it.
If there was one Chiefs player you think was at Magic City making it clap with Brett Veach last night,
it's got to be Pat, dude. It's got to be Pat.
You think it was Pat?
Pat and Trav. It's just both of them, and probably Jason Kelce's there too.
I could see Trav being there. Yeah, I guess maybe I would say Rashi Rice. Chris
Jones, definitely.
Yeah, like if Kadarius Toney was still on the team, that his ass would be there.
Yeah, I think honestly,
Miko was definitely there. And you know what? If you were trying to get a koala in the United States of America, Magic City is probably a pretty good place to procure a koala.
That's a good point. It's a good point. Imagine if Harrison Butker walked in there.
Oh man, that's why Harrison Butker missed the damn extra point.
No kidding.
That's why
you're right.
He couldn't kick indoors. He was seeing double because Harrison Butker had 3 Appletinis at Magic City last night, and all of a sudden was too hungover. It was still a little drunk and seeing 2 sets of the goalposts. And that's why, because he probably did a bump off a girl named Starla's, badunkadunk last night. And next thing you know, he's too hopped up and can't kick an extra point.
I mean, there's no photos. You can't take photo in there. So it's like, how do we really know?
We don't know.
Allegedly, he went there.
I mean, there's as much proof that they did go there as that they didn't go there.
True.
There's zero proof one way or the other. We don't know.
Very broad.
Yeah. Plausible deniability. What's that episode? You ever watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Oh, of course, man.
When they try to go, was that when they try to go to like the sex orgy, and Dennis keeps on, what's the password? Orgy. Oh yeah, wild card bitches. We've talked about It's Always Sunny multiple times. Yeah, what's the password?
He took the beak up and he's like
orgy. And then you go in there, it's just an all-you-can-eat buffet of like popcorn, chicken, and shrimp.
Just eating. That's all he's there for is to eat and slide his hands in there now.
What is it that Dennis keeps on saying? It's like plausible, anonymity or whatever.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I have to go back and watch it. It's like Dennis keeps on saying like the thing about it. The reason why he's so into it is because it's like plausible anonymity. It's kind of like also when they find the glory hole in the bathroom.
Oh yeah.
In that one episode, and they talk about like wanting to use it, and they were like talking about being on like they're sitting there talking, and one of them tells Dennis like, okay, but no, like you can both be on either side of it and pretend it's a woman. And one of them goes, how can you pretend it's a woman with a dick in your mouth?
Never in a million years did I ever think we were going to discuss this on a Chiefs podcast.
Oh, well. But here we are. If this is the last one, we're going out on top.
I guess we are, buddy.
All right. Anyway, yeah. But continuing the Travis Kelce news, Rodney Harrison said after the game that Travis Kelce looks distracted. He looks like he has too much going on. If he's not going to give 100% to football, then he should just retire. Rodney Harrison, you should just not be a football analyst because you obviously don't know what you're talking about. Travis Kelce is getting bracketed, double teamed. We talked about it on the post-game show yesterday. He's getting bracketed, double teamed, and locked down. The whole reason why he's not more, it's not that he's lost a step. It's not that he's not the same player he was. It's not that he's not good. It's not that he doesn't care about football. It's that old adage of Bill Belichick saying, we're going to take away one guy and then make the other guys beat us. Why do you think Rashee Rice gets single man coverage? You think that teams wanted just not double team Rashee Rice? No, they're double teaming There's even Rashee Rice in single coverage because they're double teaming Travis Kelce. So
we're gonna see a lot more Trav get wide open here soon. It's gonna be. That's when I'll be like, oh yeah, he's never left. That's just how it goes. Like, I don't think one, you shouldn't be worried about him. Two, you like, who cares what the hell he does on his off time? That's up to him and him alone. If he wants to go 100%. Party at Magic City or hang out with Taylor Swift, I don't care. Just he's there to work, and he just can't get his work done because there's people blocking him, or they're trying to get his work done because the people are scheming him finally correctly. That is adding two people onto him. But once people start double covering Rashee Rice, he's gonna be wide open.
Listen, what people do in the privacy of their own strip club is their business.
It's true.
Right, behind closed doors in the privacy of their own strip club, and you know what? Who's to say Taylor wouldn't be there at Magic City with him?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And they're just, she might just, I mean, he would be there to save koalas. She would be there to get a lap dance.
Yeah,
I mean,
or just be Trav giving her a lap dance.
Yeah, I mean, I'd pay Travis Kelce to give me a lap dance. Sure,
I'm okay.
No, I mean, not that I would like want it. But like, I wouldn't not want it, and then
I'm good.
It would be like, but then think here's why I would want Travis Kelce to give me a lap dance. Kramer, you ready?
Why
because then one random day on this show, something would come up, and I'd be like, oh, it's like the time that Travis Kelce gave me a lap dance, and you'd be like, oh, I learned something new about you today, Rocky.
True.
The time that Travis Kelce gave you a lap dance. So you just got to lean into life because you never know when it's going to be a good story to tell on a podcast.
So
anyway, Rodney Harrison doesn't know anything about football,
No.
and he just needs to.
What's up with him trying to
Travis
like
Kelce.
be all like trendy or however with the Chiefs? Whether if it was the Chris Jones stuff last year or now this year,
Yeah,
it's this.
he's just trying to he's trying to like
He
make a
was baiting
brand
Chris
for
Jones
himself.
last year.
Yeah, he's trying to develop a brand of being like the cutting edge like guy who says it like it is. But the problem with that is that you always have more hits. You have more misses than hits when you try to do that. And then when you miss, people roast you for it. Believe me, I've been roasted a lot in my life, and it's
I can
at
only
one
think of
point.
one article right now.
Oh yeah, and that one was satire. Like the one time when I wasn't
know.
serious is the one that I always get roasted over, and that was 10 reasons why Darius Fountain is the next Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
And it was 100% meant a satire, and I wrote it on a double dare from Ron Kopp Jr. Thanks, Ron. But here's
if you made it this far, buddy.
Yeah, if you made it this far, and but here was my mistake in it. Usually, when you're starting out as a football analyst and writer, you don't want the second article you ever write for a company to be satire titled 10 Reasons Why Darius Fountain is the next Justin Jefferson. Maybe pump the brakes on that a little bit and just cover some press conferences and just write some straight news articles with just some quotes and some like interesting imagery written in there to engage the reader. But don't come out with just like deadpan, half serious, like Steve Martin level satire with like spider graphs comparing their RASs and their athletic profiles, showing why they're similar players. It was not the smartest move on my part, even though it was.
It's funnier now knowing that was your second article ever.
Yeah, it was my second article ever on Arrowhead Pride, and I stand by it. It's probably one of the best articles I've ever written. I put a lot of effort in that article because I was so new, right? No half-assing it when you first start out, right? I think I took 6 hours to write that article.
Oh shit!
I put some effort into it, yeah. But it was 100% satire, and I think it reads that way if you go into it knowing that. Something that's not satire that somebody wrote as complete seriousness that is satire level hysterical is the fact that this website called twsn.net, and it's an article written by Marissa Myers, who says she's a sports journalist analyst from New York, current beat writer for the Buffalo Bills, also writes about the NFL, college football, and the NFL draft. She writes on this website, here's the headline: Travis Kelce will retire from the Kansas City Chiefs to become the head coach of the Cincinnati Bearcats. The first line in the article says,
what?
Yeah. As college football season is in full swing, hot seats for coaches are starting. The Cincinnati Bearcats are 3-1 to start 2024, but that doesn't mean Scott Satterfield is the answer for the team long term. Instead, it will be Travis Kelce. No source cited here. And then she goes on to talk about how Travis Kelce is getting older. His target share is going down. He didn't get 1,000 yards receiving last year. Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy are the reasons why he's not being used as much. And if the Chiefs don't go far this year, then he may get frustrated and retire. And if that happens, then for some reason, even though their head coach currently has him with a 3-1 record, they're going to fire him to hire Travis Kelce. And that Travis Kelce wants to become a college football coach immediately after retirement, despite dating a superstar, living a superstar lifestyle.
He has a podcast. He can't.
Yeah, he literally can't. And you think he wants to go out and knock on front doors and visit people in Shreveport, visit 6 houses in Shreveport, Louisiana on one weekend and try to convince 18-year-olds to come and play football in Cincinnati?
I doubt it. Highly doubt that. Doesn't sound like Killer Trav mentality.
No, it doesn't. Yeah. And I'm just saying.
You said TWSN, that website. This is all the headlines from this saying Baltimore Ravens will regret keeping John Harbaugh over Mike McDonald. Jacksonville Jaguars will fire Doug Peterson after week 4. Kyler Murray is not good enough to win a Super Bowl. Las Vegas Raiders would trade Devontae Adams to Philadelphia Eagles. Like, these people are just making crap up and thinking that it's actually legit.
So instead of being news, it's just opinions. It's an entire website.
It's literally The Onion.
Yeah, it's essentially The Onion. But one thing that is not The Onion, that is actual Chiefs news, is that the two states have signed an agreement to continue continuing discussions about a stadium. So they signed an agreement to agree to continuing to talk about where they want to try to build a stadium and if it's going to be in Kansas or Missouri.
I mean, that's good, I guess. Cool. Just get it done. That's all I have to say about that, because it's just there's no reason to drag your feet on this. If you want to stay in Kansas City, say it right now. And I'm pretty sure everybody here in Kansas City wants you to stay here. So
that's the whole thing, though, too, is like, this is the bureaucracy of the BS of it all, is that like you sign an agreement to continue talking about trying to come to an agreement. Like
I did not know.
Like
KFC,
I thought, bro. Like just choose a place.
Is it just them just saying, hey, there's actually still talks going on? Because they haven't really, honestly, I haven't heard anything in some time. Because when you brought this to the table, and I'm like, I didn't even hear anything about it, whether if it was on the news this morning. Heck, there might be it on the news tomorrow. I hope, because this is kind of newsworthy, right?
No, I think so.
They're agreeing to continue to agree on talks.
That's why a hard-hitting journalistic show like Veach Season is covering it. Are you kidding me?
You're
like,
right.
All we cover is the truth. That's all we care about is the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
Oh, if there's one place that can handle the truth, it's Veach Season. All we do is speak truth to power, report on the truth, talk about conspiracy theories, cover Halle Berry movies, and talk about how to procure an injured koala bear so that you can use them as a mascot.
Yep.
Veach Season. All right, getting into the Chiefs this week. It's time for our weekly Chiefs update. We're going to start off by talking about last week's game. So Chiefs, another nail biter. It was an up and down, ugly game. Me and Serta broke it down in extreme detail last night on the post game show.
Great work, by
reaction. Thanks, buddy. I felt good about it. But yeah, so go listen to that if you haven't. But essentially, some of the high points are Chiefs need a number 2 wide receiver right now. It sucks because Hollywood Brown was supposed to be the number 1 wide receiver. Rashee Rice is going to be number 2. Xavier Worthy number 3. Xavier Worthy is a work in progress. He continues to develop, but they need to find a reliable, consistent number 2 wide receiving threat.
I honestly think that number 2 is he got his hand on the ball yesterday. Thought it was going to be a touchdown. Thought he was going to have a touchdown. Juju Smith-Schuster. I think we're going to see a lot more Juju.
Juju did get a touchdown yesterday.
He didn't get a touchdown. Okay, I could have. No, it happened. A flag happened. Yeah.
So Juju got a touchdown yesterday, and I swear to God, he looked like Jake Taylor in Major League Baseball, running down the baseline after he lays down that butt. Yeah, like remember when he blows out his knee trying to get to first base when he lays down the butt in the end of the game? That's what Juju Smith-Schuster looked like trying to get across the field at the goal line yesterday.
That's going to be him this entire season. You know that, Rocky.
Yeah, just hoping that his knee just doesn't explode within his jersey. Me too, because the Chiefs do need him as a number 2 wide receiver. The Chiefs also need Xavier Worthy to continue to develop. There's that crucial 3rd and short where Worthy just sat and stopped on the route, and Mahomes threw it in the ground, and the Chiefs ended up going 3 and out. You can't have that.
Well, also Xavier Worthy did kind of bail out Mahomes a little bit from that one possible okay, buddy. All right. Sorry if you could hear him.
They're picketing. They're protesting. No koalas. No koalas.
But the possible interception that was going to happen, but Worthy was there to break it up. That's that was a good heads up play. But honestly, Xavier, play to Mahomes' strengths and just find an open spot.
100%, and I think it's just part of the development for Xavier Worthy. And
it's his 3rd game in the NFL.
Yeah, give the guy some slack. The problem is that the Chiefs were expecting to give him more time to develop because they're supposed to have Hollywood Brown, and now that they don't have Hollywood Brown probably for the entire regular season, it's rough because it moves up the timetable quite a bit because Justin Watts is going to be good for one very clutch play every single game, and it's going to be an amazing play.
He was clutch the other night with how it split open. Boom, he's right in the middle.
All he does is do amazing things. He just only does it once a game.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that, but that's not your number 2 wide receiver.
No.
But we do got to talk about Patrick Mahomes in this game, Krame.
Yeah.
Mahomes said it after the game that he's not playing good right now, and he's not getting his feet under him. He's trusting his arm too much. What's your take on Mahomes right now? Yeah, what's your take on Mahomes?
He does not look good. Like, this is like the first time I think I've ever seen him in the NFL actually look human. Now, he doesn't look like how Pat Mahomes usually is. He's not moving around I don't think he's moving around the pocket as much, like comfortably as he's been. He doesn't look comfortable back there. He's not throwing the football the way like he's been doing. He's either overthrowing a guy or underthrowing him. He's not accurate. It's just a lot is happening right now, and it's not good. But you know what? They're figuring out a way to win. So it's like, what am I here to say? That's like, oh, he looks bad, but yet they're still winning because that's the case. He still knows how to win games, even though if he is playing terrible, and I'm glad he owned up to it.
Yeah, I mean, I said this on the post-game show yesterday, so if you're hearing this for the second time, I apologize. But I feel like Mahomes in the first half yesterday and last week also, he's just trying to get a little too cute out there. Like, he's just trying to like flip the ball here, like flick his wrist and like just kind of lob it over here. And just, I don't think he's bored. I think that he's trying to be more like I did this. Here's a comparison I used on the postgame show last night was that I think he's trying to be more like Steph Curry than Michael Jordan. And, you know, like sometimes Steph Curry gets like a little cute with like those like lobbing hook passes, and he'll like do these funky dribbles and like gets a little loose with it. And you're like, okay, how is Steph Curry not losing the football? Steph Curry's still an extremely great basketball player, but he's not Michael Jordan. And Mahomes has it in him to be Michael Jordan. Mahomes has a cannon for an arm. There's no reason for Mahomes to shoot a 10-foot floater when he can take it to the rim and finish.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right.
Yeah.
And so I think that Mahomes is getting a little too cute. He's not setting his feet. He's just flicking it. He's a little overconfident, I think, in his abilities at the moment, and which caused him to stare down Noah Gray or against last week when he threw the interception. He like or first week against Roquan Smith when he threw that interception, like he like tried to look him off, but he didn't really do it because they were waiting for him to look back. Right. He's trying to get a little too cute with it, and he's not really selling it. And I think a lot of it's just the attention to detail where he's playing too loose. He's playing loose, but he's playing too loose. He needs to lock it down and just rip the ball a little bit. I think you saw that a little bit in the second half when he came out and he hit like that, like 10-yard crossing route to Kelsey right off the bat to start the second half. I think you'll probably see more of that coming up. He told Chris Sims last year in an interview that he uses the bye week to refocus on his fundamentals because his footwork is always out of whack by the time he gets to the bye week. And so he spends the entire bye week to get his footwork back in place.
All right. So you know what's terrifying? Bye week is week 6. This might be the earliest bye week ever Patrick Mahomes has had in his career. So that's telling something. So you better hope he does. Whatever it is, he needs to literally pretty much figure it out in 2 weeks almost.
Yeah. So, here's the deal. If he spends here's the other problem is if he spends the entire bye week figuring it out and getting it locked back in, is it going to be back out of whack by the time the playoffs?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, right. So then you need to get another bye week. You need to get the first seed so you get another bye week, or go into week 18 with him being benched so that he can just focus on footwork again and get relocked.
Or just get the 1 seed, which as they're going to get the 1 seed. They're getting the 1 seed. There's no team stopping them from getting the 1 seed.
Yeah, I don't think that they will. I mean, the only team that can stop the Chiefs right now, and this is the next point I have on this list, is the Chiefs, right? It's a tired adage, but the Chiefs shooting themselves in the foot is their biggest concern. Like the Chiefs, the first interception Mahomes threw yesterday, the Chiefs were driving. Like the Chiefs had like how many, like 17 play drives that ended in field goals. Like they got to be able to punch the ball in the end zone. and they got to stop shooting themselves in the foot. That final, like so much is being made of the no call on Brian Cook on the pass interference in the end zone without any mention to the fact that there was a very soft pass interference call that extended the drive on Trent McDuffie. There was a roughing the passer call on Chris Jones that extended the drive, right? So the Falcons, I'm not saying the Falcons were bailed out by the refs yesterday, but the idea that the refs slant the game in the Chiefs' direction is a complete falsehood, and it's just a loser mentality by loser fan bases who are trying to make up excuses for why their team can't get over the hump against the Chiefs, especially when the Chiefs are making these many mistakes. Now, the issue is that I'm going to make zero excuses for the Chiefs making these mistakes. The Chiefs need to clean it up. They need to tighten it up, right?
Yeah.
When I say that the drive was extended by those play calls, I'm not saying that the call shouldn't have been called. Was it a soft roughing the passer? Sure, but the ball was out. Chris Jones, don't touch the quarterback when the ball's out. Like, that's the rule. Like, what was it called very much by the letter of the law and there was no wiggle room yesterday? Yeah, I thought that they called it very much by the letter of the law and there wasn't very much wiggle room. That's still the rules. Don't do it if it's against the rules. So the Chiefs need to stop shooting themselves in the foot and they need to clean it up. I think a lot of what you're seeing though in the NFL right now in general though is because nobody plays in the preseason anymore. Like there's no they removed a preseason game, and how many teams just don't play their starters in the preseason? The Chiefs play them a little bit, but like they don't play enough reps to not be rusty in the beginning of the season. I think you're seeing this across the league. Like every offense looks like crap right now. Like there's not a single offense that looks good.
And I think it's because everybody does way too much in the offseason of trying to get themselves ready for the next season. It's like, take more than a 2-week vacation on stuff. Just take a month off. Take 2 months off. Like your body is the most important thing, and then you need rest for your body. That's what helps heals it. You working out constantly hurts your body. But whether it's like going for a run, that hurts your body. Lifting weights, that hurts your body. Heck, even playing a football game definitely hurts your body. So it's like protect yourself.
When you're lifting weights and you're building mass, you are literally tearing your muscles so that they can regrow.
Yeah,
like heal and regrow. But on top of that, like the only way to get into football shape is to play football. And if you're not playing football games, then your body's not going to be in football shape, and you're going to come out here and be going 100 miles an hour, and the next thing you know, Christian McCaffrey is heading to injured reserve again. Brock Purdy is questionable. Justin Herbert is questionable. Freaking AJ Brown is out. Isaiah Pacheco has a broken leg. You know what I mean? Like players are just dropping like flies left and right around the league because nobody enters the season in football shape, right? Like they don't play football before the season, and then they come out and they go 100 miles an hour, and guys' bodies don't hold up.
Because there's two differences between being in shape and there's football shape. Yeah, it's way too different.
So, I mean, I understand why the NFLPA didn't want the preseason, but it actually might be in the best interest of its players' health to have the preseason. Justice for Nick Bolton. Dude came back in a big way yesterday. The Chiefs stopped asking him to cover slot receivers in space and tight ends in space, and as a result, he looked a whole lot better. Second game-winning play of the year by Nick Bolton.
It's stud, huge stud. I'm so happy for him.
Absolute stud, absolute tough as nails. Literally had back spasms. One play on the ground, writhing in pain. Next play, jumps up and knocks down the ball. Like I'm an old man, so I've had a bad back for many years now. And if you've ever thrown your back out and had back pain or back spasms, the idea of jumping and throwing your arms in the air literally makes you want to piss your pants out of pain. Like it is the most horrible sounding thing ever in the world.
That sounds painful. I'm good. I had bad lower sciatic problems. So yeah. Ooh.
Chiefs had a hell of a pass rush though last night. It was a great pass rush. Turk Wharton does not skip leg days. He's the anti-Derrick Henry. He is the real quad father. Like, that dude has the biggest legs in the NFL, and it showed yesterday.
FAU even got in there too.
Yeah, FAU had a rough day, but he had one really good snap. He had one really, really good snap, and it was awesome.
He needed that snap, though.
George Karlaftis looked good. Chris Jones, of course, looked good.
He always looks good.
Yeah, the pass rush in general looked great.
Bravo to you boys.
Yep. And then Carson Steele. Carson Steele came through. What do you think? How long till we see Kareem Hunt in the lineup?
I don't think we should.
Period?
I mean, they can have him on the practice squad. Give him this week. He might rotate in this upcoming week, and that's it. But maybe have 10 or 15 snaps, if that. That seems too high.
I can see that.
10 snaps, maybe. But I need more Carson Steele getting the pill rather than Samaje Perine. Like, Samaje Perine's cool out of the backfield if it's a passing down, but heck, then again, Carson Steele, I'm sure that he can do that as well. So it's like, put Carson Steele in the game, let him just go.
Giving Samaje Perine a delayed counter run on 3rd and 1 out of shotgun literally made me want to rip my television off the wall.
I can only imagine, dude.
That was the worst play call Andy Reid has ever made in his entire life.
So, speaking of Andy Reid, you know how Andy was. I completely forgot about this until someone mentioned it to me. How bad of a game manager he used to be.
He was horrible.
I can't believe how amazing it is now.
Yeah, he the old boy took some notes, and whoever said you can't teach an old dog new tricks,
they taught
never had Andy Reid as a pet dog.
Yep,
that's for damn sure. Because the old boy did learn some tricks. Yep, I'll drink to that. Whatever's in my cup here, you never know.
Yep,
it could be coffee, it could be water, it could be panda blood for all you know. But
at least it's not koala blood. Can't have that.
Well, I would never do that. Koalas are the official animal mascots of each season.
Yep.
And so, can you own a panda? I bet you can't own a panda in the United States either, can you?
Well, you can paint your dog like a panda like they do over in the Chinese zoos.
Oh, that's true. Just get a husky and paint him like a panda.
Yep. I know 2 of them. I can go do it too.
There you go. Just, people are like, why do you have a stencil and a can of black spray paint with my dog? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're starting to zoo. I'm starting to zoo. That's not a dog. It's a panda. Look at him. Clearly, it's a panda. Anyway, back to Chiefs are playing their first divisional rival this week. They're playing the Los Angeles Chargers.
They're a rival.
I mean, they're in the division, so I guess they're technically a rival. Everybody in the division is a rival. They're not like, they're like, okay, they're the Chargers. Like,
Chargers are like North Korea.
Yeah, like, here's the deal: the Chargers hate us a lot more than it's like when there's like that situation where you're like that the person's like, oh, I hate that person, and the other person's like, oh, I forgot you existed.
Yeah, that's how the Chargers is in my mind.
That's how it is. That's how it is, basically. But they lost this week as well. They're now a full game behind the Chiefs. The Chiefs can pull out a victory in this game. They'll be up 2 games in the division and basically have the, control their own destiny in the AFC West like they normally do. Wanya Morris is going to get the start again. Wanya played really good yesterday, I thought, on the back of Kingsley Suamatia. Struggling to guys, I struggle with that name every time.
I do like the Macarena, not the Macarena. Yeah. No, what's the
yes, Macarena. Yeah, it's Macarena.
Suamatia.
Hi. Yeah. After he struggled in week 2 against the Bengals. So Andy said today that Wanya's going to get to start again against the Chargers. So
let's go, Wanya.
It looks like it's Wanya's job to lose at this point. He stepped up and he's seized the moment. He owned it, and now hopefully he never lets it go. Derwin James is officially suspended for this game. So if you thought that Travis Kelce wasn't going to feast in this game,
he's going to feast.
Think again. He's not going to get picked up and body slammed, at least. Yeah. Travis Kelce's gonna eat like I ate cereal on a Saturday morning cartoons as a child. Just a Tupperware container that's this big with like an entire box board inside, and just a ladle.
Yeah,
Just-
get the ladle out there.
Get the ladle out there, and then like it's like Lucky Charms, and you drink that Lucky Charm marshmallow milk at the end, right?
Whoa. Okay,
Yeah,
milk. All right.
milk, not water. I misspoke. That Lucky Charms Yeah, you drink that Lucky Charms marshmallow water at the end. What? You guys were rich enough? You had milk? Wow. All right. Somebody's from the upper crust.
Somebody went to college.
Yeah. Somebody had parents who loved them enough to go to the grocery store. But yeah,
man.
Derwin James is suspended. Justin Herbert is injured. Whether or not he's going to start is
Why
up in the air.
Why did they start him? Why did they? Stupid.
When you're the Los Angeles Chargers and the Chiefs are 2-0 and the Chiefs are presumably going to become 3-0,
right?
You don't want to lose pace, and so you make foolish decisions like starting Justin Herbert.
The pace was already behind anyways since last season.
Not in Jim Harbaugh's mind.
He's still. I love Jim for what he did.
Jim Harbaugh's a cheater.
I'm a Michigan guy. I don't care.
And so,
you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Oh, of course you don't care because you're also a Raiders fan. There's a little thing called you're a panda smuggling Confederate Army reenacting.
Can't prove it.
Las Vegas Raiders loving Michigan cheating fan.
Man, it's good to be me.
Yeah, wow, you are your own worst enemy. You're like Blink.
Telling you, I'm the Cad Bane of Kansas City, baby.
Yeah, you are. You are just everybody's favorite villain. That's why you always dress in black. You're the man in black, Kramer Sansone. But yeah, Jim Harbaugh is a complete effing nut job. I think he in his press conference this week, he says he was referring to why he trusts like his assistant coaches, and he said, like Moses, I'm going to die on my staff. Now, like I understand it's a clever turn of phrase, and he means it to say he trusts his assistant coaches. But like the reason why Moses died on his staff was because he didn't listen to God, and God was like, "Listen, you can't go into the promised land now because I told you to speak to the rock and make water come out. Instead, you hit it with your staff and made everybody think that you did it. So because of that, you'll never see the promised land. So while everybody else gets to go to the land of milk and honey, you're going to die in the desert leaning on your staff." So what Jim Harbaugh was saying is, I'm never going to make it to the promised land because I'm going to trust my assistant coaches too much, and I'm going to die on my staff while leaning on my staff, which I agree 100% with that statement. I think the man was actually speaking the truth accidentally. Yeah. He was accidentally telling the truth.
He's not going to win a Super Bowl anytime soon. I don't think he'll be coached out of the league by the time they have any sort of closeness of making it.
Unfortunately, I think he will always be the older brother whose little brother has more Super Bowl rings than he does.
Yep. Yeah.
All he'll ever have is one national championship that he stole because he cheated.
He didn't steal it. He did advanced scouting.
Oh, advanced scouting. Is that what they call it?
Yes.
He probably shouldn't even been in the college football playoff because he cheated, or he shouldn't have coached in the game.
Well,
or
it's
a million
not,
other things.
It's not like the players knew. It's they went out there on the field and they won.
Oh, yeah. And he coached.
Oh, yeah. There's also a handful of other coaches, too.
Yeah. I'm not saying that the players shouldn't have been able to play. I'm saying Jim Harbaugh shouldn't have been able to coach.
We saw what the Wolverines did when Harbaugh was suspended. They still won. So, yeah.
I'm not saying they're not a good team. I'm saying Jim Harbaugh should not have gotten that achievement.
I know what you mean, but yet they still suspended him for whatever wrongful doing he did, which I still don't see what was wrong with the advanced scouting. And they won. Washington looked bad in that championship game.
Wow! So you're also a Los Angeles Chargers fan now too.
No.
Good for
gosh,
you.
No. Not a Chargers
You hear that,
fan.
Raider Nation? Kramer
Not a
Sansone,
Chargers fan.
big
Don't you
Chargers
put that
fan.
devil on me, Rocky.
Oh man, he said, "Thank God there is an AFC West team that belongs in California. That there is a true Californian, the true Los Angeles team is in Los Angeles where it belongs.
Nope.
The Los Angeles Chargers are home in their God-given historical location where their forefathers fought and bled and died for."
Ship their asses back to San Diego.
Which we all know what San Diego means. You know what San Diego stands for, right?
I don't know.
Oh, you ever seen Anchorman?
But yeah.
In the movie, they're like San Diego, and he goes, and then Ron Burgundy goes, which everybody knows means whale's vagina.
Oh, that's right.
And they're like, no, I think it's Saint Diego. And they're like, nope, whale's vagina.
Rocky,
80% of the time,
we're getting canceled. This one, this is the one.
80% of the time, it works every time.
Jim Harbaugh's a nut. We're nuts.
Yeah, we're nuts. It's late. Monday Night Football's on. We're gonna wrap up here in a second. Keys to the game, though, I think are Chiefs got to stop the run. The Chiefs' run defenses looked amazing this year.
Yeah.
Bijan Robinson was their hardest test all year, and they completely shut him down in the game. You know that Jim Harbaugh is going to want to run the ball. He's just going to pound the rock nonstop.
A lot of 3 and outs.
I fully anticipate the Chiefs stopping the running game. They need whoever the QB is. They need to hit him. If it's Justin Herbert, they need to hit him because he's dinged up, and then they make him feel.
Yeah, go for the ankle on accident.
Don't go for the ankle, but just make him feel
on
unsafe
accident
back there.
On accident.
Plausible deniability.
Yeah.
Orgy. What if every single time Chris Jones sacked Justin Herbert, he just tipped up his face mask and went orgy and then just walked away.
I'm disappointed that none of Michigan fans that right now with Orgy as their not backup. There needs to be a backup quarterback to start. But no, a lot more Orgy needs to be happening.
A lot more Orgy. Well, also, speaking of awesome quarterback names, this is completely off topic. We're going to get back to our key matchups in a second. But shockingly, we're getting sidetracked here. Did you see Louisiana Monroe's quarterback's name? General Booty.
Oh, yeah. Booty.
What a great effing name.
Yes.
I don't ever want to have another quarterback besides Patrick Mahomes on my team. But if I did, I would want his name to be General Booty.
That's badass.
You know that General Booty is going to get drafted by the Atlanta Falcons and then be in Magic City nonstop.
Yes.
He's just going to set up residence down in Magic City, or he get drafted by the Miami Dolphins and just be nonstop.
He'd be set there too.
Oh man, he's just gonna show up with just glitter in every orifice of his body from the night before. I can't even imagine what would happen if he played there. Anyway, so back to the key matchups of the game. Hit the quarterback off, and if it's Justin Herbert, make him feel unsafe. If it's Tyler Heineke or Easton Stick, then just put pressure on him and make them make mistakes. Lock down the their young receivers. I actually do like their receivers. I think Quentin Johnson is garbage, but they got Brendan Rice, they got Joshua Palmer, and then they got your best friend,
lad,
your fellow Confederate reenactment buddy, partner, Lad McConkey. You guys met at the country club, right? Like you guys were at the same debutantes ball, and you guys met at the country club. And your dads were in the same firm or something like that.
Yeah. We went. We were at the bar there, and we reached for the same glass, thinking that it was one of ours. Technically, it wasn't. It was another person's. But
then Harrison Bucker came in and said, "Oh, that's my Bellini." Excuse me.
That's actually you're right. Were you there?
Then he walked away. Well, I was out back trimming the bushes.
So that's what you were doing.
Yeah, I was the landscaper out back of the country club.
Gotcha.
The help. I was the dish
He's the
guy
help.
in the kitchen working. But
Oh,
the other key is can the tackles hold up against the Chargers pass rush? The pass rush is probably
is the pass rush all hurt? Aren't they all banged up right now?
Yeah, they are all banged up.
Yeah,
but
85-year-old Khalil Mack. You have Joey Bosa, which I don't know if he's going to show up or not. He's always hurt.
And Tuli Tuipulotu.
Yeah, Tuli's good.
I love Tuli.
That's the only person that I find now be more concerning because everyone's hurt. The secondary is kind of good from what they think that is good. I don't think the secondary is good. I don't think this defense is what it's supposed to. What has been cracked out to be the last 5 years. They're like, oh, it's the best defense. Oh, it's the best defense. Oh, it's the best. I don't see it. I really don't.
Well, I don't think that they have a great defense per se.
But all the national media says it.
I do think they can put some pressure on the quarterback. And I do think that they have some pieces in the secondary that I like Asante Samuel Jr. is good. I like.
He's been there for 3 or 4 years now, and I haven't seen him do anything.
They got Cam Hart, the rookie. I like him a lot as well. They got Fulton. They have some, not James, but they have Nasir, right? Nasir Brown, I think, right, as well. They have some pieces in the secondary that I think are quality pieces. But their linebackers are trash. Like their actual coverage, like their middle linebackers are trash. Their defensive tackles are trash. I don't think the Chiefs are going to have.
They're gonna win.
They're gonna
win, Rocky.
They're gonna win. Of course, they're gonna win. Like that's not the question, Kramer. The question is, are they gonna have a non-ugly game this week?
No, it's always gonna be an ugly game. It's always gonna be like
a division game. It's always
I wanted to go to sleep by halftime this on Sunday because I was like, all right, it's gonna be I get to have to wake up early in the morning to get to work, and I had to stay up late, had to watch the game, and I fell asleep I'm tired.
Yeah, no, me too. And that's why we had such a concise episode for you tonight, everybody. Try to keep it to a clean, short hour and 27 minutes for you because we're both so tired that
I think we did 90 minutes last week as well.
We did. That's just the new normal over here at Veach season because we love each other too much and we just like hanging out. And you're my favorite person in the world. But hey, guys, Veachies out there, we need more 5-star reviews.
Yes, we do.
Even if you hate our guts and you don't think that we should try to procure a panda, or not a panda, I mean a koala. Yeah, we shouldn't try to procure a koala.
We can get panda easily.
Yeah, you want a panda? I can get you a panda by the end. What was that? You ever seen The Big Lebowski? You want a toe? I can get you a toe. I can get you a toe by the afternoon with polish, right? And so. But if you think we shouldn't try to procure toes, pandas, or koalas, let us know in a 5-star review and tell us how horrible we are for suggesting it. If you don't think that we should try to talk about strip clubs and the Chiefs on a Chiefs podcast or Halle Berry, then leave it in a 5-star review and tell us about it. We're not going to change our behavior. Let me get that. Let me just level set here and set the expectation.
You get what you get, people.
Yeah, like when you click on this podcast, you know what you're going to get, and it's this shit show. But we have fun doing it. We hope you have fun listening to it. So if you love us, leave us a 5-star review. If you hate us, leave us a 5-star review. If you have a really, really great pound cake recipe, because I love pound cake, put it in a 5-star review and leave it. But I love a good dense pound cake. It's so good. And so anyway, that being said, I'm Rocky Magaña at Rocky Magaña. He's Kramer Sansone at Kramer Talks on Twitter. Listen, we got great lineup coming. Full lineup now that the season's in full swing over here at Foolish Club Media. We got the show on BK. We got Brian B. Shining with his daily show coming out every single day. Kramer, you got your show. Plug it. What do you got coming up on your show this week?
Chiefs Comments Kramer. If you have any comments, you can X them at me, you post them at me, however you get a hold of me. If you have a Chiefs comment, question, or concern, send them my way, and I will answer them all at 2:30 on Thursday. It's called Chiefs Comments to Kramer.
Make it weird. Make him uncomfortable.
I'll answer it.
Make him try to say something on the air that he doesn't want to say. That's my advice to you.
And I'm more professional there than I am here.
Well, yeah, it's like the post-game show. It's completely straight-laced with Serta because he's the boss, and I'm got it all locked down. I'm a professional post-game guy. I get on here though with you. It's 3 seconds into the show,
We're
and
already
it's
off
just
the rails.
and it's just a GD madhouse when you get our dynamic energies with each
Dude,
other, Krame.
Shit happens, man.
Shit happens. But hey, everybody, we love you guys. Thank you so much for rocking with us. Thank you so much for the privilege of your time. For if you're still listening after an hour and a half, thank you for 90 minutes of your time. But
Yeah, let us know if you finished it all the way through.
Yeah, you deserve a gold star. We will. Everybody who finishes this podcast all the way through to the 90th minute, literally message us on Twitter, and we will retweet, quote tweet you with a gold star emoji, awarding you one Veach season gold star for finishing all 90 minutes of this show. We love you guys. Thank you so much for the privilege of your time. Find somebody, love on them, love each other, be good to each other. We'll talk to you guys next week.